First up this evening, Terror Taxis, part 2 of our primetime news series, looking at the robot taxis on a rampage across some sections of the country.
This evening, the riveting story of a young woman who twice came face to face with the possibility of dying after she took robot taxis. She ended up involved in a high-speed chase as the cabbie tried to elude the cops.
This evening, her story, plus what attorneys say you should if there's anything you can do after crashing in an unlicensed car. TVJ's Giovanni Dennis reports.
30-year-old Xavier Walker has first-hand experienced the horror of sitting in a robot taxi and being chased by police.
The first one was in 2007 when I was attending the UWI. I was downtown and I wanted to get a taxi to Papine.
So she decided to travel in a robot taxi. Like the driver we saw in part 1 of the feature, this driver decided to leapfrog the traffic line at the stoplight.
Going to the front now, there were some policemen up there. And so he tried to run away from the police, and then they started chasing us. Him crashing other vehicles, still didn't stop. We said, driver, stop, police is coming. And he said, no man, don't the boy them.
Shots were allegedly being fired by the police. By this time, passengers were weeping.
Boy, I just thought I was going to die. Honestly, I thought I was going to die. And then, Mountain View is not a nice place sometimes. So when I see him started heading down Mountain View, I started worrying even more.
A man next to her, she recalls, began to comfort her. He may have also saved her life.
He kind of like covered my body when the shot started. And then when the man still was not stopping, he pulled out a knife and held it at the driver's neck. And that's when the driver stopped. And we just got out.
Shaken and disoriented, she got into the first JUTC bus she saw.
I didn't even know where the bus was going. I just stopped the bus, went on the bus, started crying.
She made a vow after that, never to travel in another robot taxi. But in 2016, 9 years after her first ordeal,
I was downtown again and I wanted to get a taxi, and I knew within myself that, you're not supposed to take white plate taxi, but I didn't want to be late for work. And so I went into the taxi and the door was still open, and I realized that the man started driving off, and I'm like, why is he driving off? Because the door is open. When I looked behind me, there was a police van chasing us. A lady was in the front, I was in the middle, one of those 7-seaters, and a little boy was in the back.
And deja vu, tires screeching through the streets in downtown Kingston.
I started crying out, driver, please stop, along with the lady in the front. We begged, and he still didn't stop.
The driver crashed into a utility pole. Passengers, including Miss Walker, were injured, but after eluding police, the driver, she explained, told them all to get out and drove off. She had to foot all expenses from the crash. Luckily, they were not excessive, but a taxi driver who did not wish to appear on camera told us of a more severe case.
I know a person where our daughter lose her foot, and first of all, it's a person, the taxi man should take is a taxi man should know. And because when he realized the expense of him take for himself.
But even if both robot drivers stayed, no successful claim could be made against an insurance company for expenses incurred as a result of the crash. Kevin Page is an attorney at law experienced in personal injury claims.
The robot vehicle would have been insured as a private vehicle. And so in that case, the insurance policy would be breached.
He says insurance policies may also be breached if the driver is unauthorized to drive the vehicle or if the license does not meet the minimum requirement of 3 years. But according to John Bassey, another attorney, even without PPV insurance, a claim can be made against the driver and/or owner of the vehicle.
The avenues of the court allow for that person to carry it through to the nth degree. In other words, they could try to get at his assets and anything else that he owns.
But even then, problems may arise.
When you take some of those vehicles and the next minute they meet in a collision and the driver come out and run gone.
Both attorneys argue that even if drivers are caught, most cannot afford the medical costs that may arise from injuring passengers. They insist, however, that victims report crashes to the police, seek medical treatment and legal advice. In part 3, we hear from passengers and some illegal operators on why take the risk despite the dangers. Giovanni Dennis, TVJ News.